The Graphic Histories Podcast.
I got bit by a radioactive bug. I tried an experimental drug. Went up for a stroll on a gamma testing range. I found an enchanted hurricane. I made a serum that made me small. I modified the serum so it would make me tall. Radioactive isotope in my eyes. Dying alien helped me accessorize. I gained the proportion and strength of a spider. Now I'm invincible and I can fly. I lost my sight, my other senses were heightened. I'm gonna put on my pajamas and go fight crime.
Hey there, and welcome to the Graphic Histories Podcast. My name is Andre Mayet, your podcast host. Big thanks to Uka the Mock for our theme song, Superpowers. And big thanks to you, gentle listener, for tuning in once again to another action-packed, fun-filled show. Today's guest is Keithan Jones, who is a comic book writer, comic book artist, who's independently making his own comics, Power Nights and American Grit, two really neat little comics, and quite a few other things too, as well, working for some other companies. We get into what his projects are and what he's doing in the chat. It's a great conversation, one that shows his, path from beginning all the way up to where he is now. We do go on quite a diatribe near the end, off on the James Bond. So if you like James Bond, we get a lot of James Bond chat. But, it's nice just to nerd out and chat. I know I did mention to him that I jokingly say I should call this podcast The Weeds because we get lost in them a lot. But that's where you find the fun stuff when you're lost. It's not the journey. Sorry, it's not the destination. It's the journey. And it was a hell of a journey talking with Keithan. So it is a long talk, this one. I was going to break it up into 2 episodes, but I thought, there's no need. If you can sit through Avatar, you can listen to this while you're driving around or at the gym or shoveling snow if you live in Canada at this particular time, or my part of Canada, going for a walk. You can listen, you can tune in, you can take a break, pause it, come back. It's all there. But it is a long one, so I'm not going to give you a big long intro. I'm just going to go right into the episode. So here it is, my conversation with Keithan Jones.
I wasn't born here, raised, yes. I was born in Memphis, Tennessee. Came out here through, I was a Navy brat. So Dad brought us out here in 1980. Mm-hmm. And pretty much grew up out here from 9 years old on.
Wow. Do you have much memories of Memphis?
Yeah. We would go back every once in a while for family reunions and whatnot. So kept strong ties to my folks back there.
Oh, that's good. So, military, did you move a lot with the military, or when you got to San Diego?
In the beginning, we did. We had a short stint in Seattle, Washington, and then San Diego, then back to Memphis for a couple of years, and then finally back to San Diego, and then hopping around what was it, Pacific Beach, South San Diego, Spring Valley.
Holy crap. And you're all over. Your dad must have been pretty high up in the military, was he?
Yeah, it's pretty stereotypical for military brats. We don't have those long-term relationships with anyone.
No.
Because we're always on the move. But
I've thought it's funny because when I talk to folks like yourself that are involved with comics, quite a few people have a similar story. There's I would be surprised. I've already go through all the episodes. This is 157, I think this will be. And think about everyone I've talked to. There's got to be at least 5 to 10 of them that were people that were in the military or had military families that traveled around a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe that lends itself to comics. Maybe comics is something that you can take with you, right? So
I don't know what it is. Well, San Diego's a port city, so you by default you have a lot of military folks here. Mm-hmm. But I don't necessarily make the connection with this comic books because there's always been, as long as I've been here, there's always been a strong comic book community here. And of course there's San Diego Comic-Con, which started here. But as far as why, I don't know. I think this, outside of New York, as far as I know, this has got to be the strongest comic book community, because every part, no matter where you are in the city here, what sector you're in, there's generally a comic book shop right around the corner somewhere.
Really? There's that many? Okay. That's I got to get there someday, man. That's That's there's a I'm involved with the board of directors for a credit union. They're talking about doing some event. It didn't pan out, but it would have been some kind of a directors thing, which would have been in San Diego, and I was really excited.
Yeah.
It didn't pan out, but I was like, man, if they could fly me to San Diego and I could stay there for a few days to do this conference, I would definitely spend the time to go around and check out all the sites because
So you don't regularly attend San Diego Comic Con?
no, I'm in Canada, like way
Oh,
yeah, way over. I'm on the opposite coast. I'm in Nova Scotia, so
okay.
just
So you're in have you heard of Vortex Media or Vortex Comics?
I think I've talked to someone from there. Where are
They're
they based
based
out of?
in
Toronto?
Ontario.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think so.
Who did I talk to from Vortex?
It's owned by Marx family,
Hmm.
Max Marx and William Marx.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Well,
That
anyway,
sounds
I've been working with them for a good man. I want to say a good 6 years now. Working on their comics or one of their comics anyway.
Oh, really? What comic is that?
It's called Chaos Breaker.
Oh,
At
okay.
first, we were doing individual floppies
Hmm.
when they first brought me on, and I guess through some of their own their internal research, they decided that it was better to just release it as graphic novels instead of a bunch of floppies.
Mm.
So I finished volume one of the graphic novel, which hasn't come out yet because we had the whole COVID thing and things just kind of
Hmm.
got set back. But I'm currently working on volume two, the same series. But yeah, but a good I think a good 10 issues, 8 issues came out as floppies around the states.
Okay, that's very
Uh,
cool. I
yeah,
didn't realize. I'll have to look into them because that's anything that's Canadian guys doing the comics. I'm there.
they're not primarily their main operation is their production house for films. So they have stuff on streaming services.
Oh, okay, maybe that's why it seems so familiar.
Yeah. Yeah, their main company is Vortex Media, and the
Mm.
comics is a subsidiary of that. But
Man,
yeah,
yeah, I feel like I talked to someone that did something with them. Maybe it was a book, like an author. I have to come circle back and find out, but it does sound very familiar to me. You have so
well,
many of these conversations. Sometimes they feel it. You gotta go through the files in your head because
yeah.
there's so many. Oh, cool. Well, I guess like moving around a lot. Were you into comics as a kid? Like when did you discover your
Oh,
first
for
comics? Where
sure.
did those come?
Um, okay, so that's Navy connected too. Now I
Hmm.
wasn't in the Navy. I was never in the closest I got was ROTC, but
Oh, you try.
um
So you try. You considered it.
no, I never
No,
considered
no, no.
my dad
Okay.
forced me to do it.
Oh, I see. That makes more sense. I always find, yeah, it's like the most of the art people, it's like a direct. I don't want to say it's specifically just rebelling against your folks, but it always seems like artistic people,
Yeah.
like they like there's usually like a military or like some kind of business or construction or some kind of like very straightforward kind of career parent, and then the kid that's like, my dad was a construction worker, so I felt the same way. I was like,
Oh,
I'm doing comics. And he's like, you don't know what it's like to work. And I'm like, yeah, I want to do comics. Like,
right.
this is way better. I'd rather do this, please.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Like,
it's not coming from a malicious space. They just don't,
no.
it's alien to them. So they don't know that it's almost like they believe that cartoons and comics and films are made magically. Like
Yeah.
there's no industry connected to it. There's no,
Yeah, I
it's
agree.
just there.
It's like so far away from their world that they can't even see that there are people, like, they don't even understand it, I think. So like
Right.
that people are making money. Like,
Right.
it's funny because when you draw as a kid, everyone always says, like, oh, you should go be an animator for Disney because that's like the only thing I heard as a kid. That's the only thing
Hmm.
that people
Hmm.
could generally contextualize in their heads. That's something you could maybe make money at. When if you know
Hmm.
about animators and how much they get paid from Disney, it's not that much compared to
Right.
like some of the other things. So, you
Right.
know,
Right. Right. It's you know the history in America when it comes to comics. A lot of it has to do with the history of our comics here. There was a time before the whole Dr. Frederick Worthington
mhm.
debacle, where comics were more on the scale of manga, where Americans accepted that it was more widely accepted as a means of entertainment
Mm-hmm.
in literature, and it wasn't superhero based material. It was all kinds of
Mm-hmm.
genres, and then like a lot of stuff in American history, things started, let's keep it a buck. It's the religious right would come in and start clamping down on this stuff because it was either deemed demonic or corrupting the youth, and so comics went through a period where it almost went out of existence here. And I don't think it's to this day, I don't think it's fully recovered from that stereotype.
Yeah.
Because it became goofy kid material. And so when you think comics in America, the average person is like, oh, that's geeky kid material.
Yeah.
Even though these same people are going to Marvel movies.
That's what I was saying. You think
the same material.
like it's wild that they'll go and they'll go to every Marvel movie and love them, right? But if you go back to the comics themselves, I feel like it's a little more accepted. But I do agree with you on America's sort of strange. I mean, there's a lot of origin stories in America, but it just as an outsider. But the sort of puritanical sort of beginnings or origins with some of the people that brought that over, the settlers, still seem to permeate. Like there's still a lot of this today, even with banning books and comics and
same old story, bro.
There's a lot of there's a book fair we had a while ago in town, and I got it's a genderqueer it's called. And it was this person sort of, it's banned all over the States. It's this story, this woman's or person's personal story about not identifying as a certain gender, and it's really like a fairly normal book when you read it. It's just their own experience. And there's one panel that could be, I guess a little salacious, but not really in any serious way. But that's I think they just look for anything that they could take and then use to just color the whole thing as being
weaponized it.
Yeah, I don't know. When I was a kid, I don't think if I saw a gay person or something else like that in a book or a comic, I immediately started thinking, well, maybe I'm gay. It's just that's not how that's not how it works. I think I don't know what. Well, I know what they're afraid of. It's they don't
You're just
understand
not
it.
even thinking about that. That's the
No.
thing, bro. I'm not even my mind isn't even in that neighborhood.
Yeah, I have enough
to bring it.
Yeah,
you would have to bring it to my attention and put it in my face and make me think about it. To think about it,
and even then, you don't want to think about it as a kid. Why are you not thinking about that?
I mean, when you meet a stranger and what do they say? Hi, my name is such and such. I am straight. I am gay. Nobody says that.
Yeah. It's on your shirt, It's not
I don't want to know.
Yeah. And it's I had a friend who kind of explained to me, when I explained it, we were just talking about that, and he said his kid was really young. His kid, there was two guys holding hands or something, and he said, his kid said, well, what's that? And his dad said, oh, well, some adults, some men like other men, and then they're together, and then the kid's okay, and they just go about their life. It's not a perverting experience. They're not oh my God, my world exploded. Literally, it could be as simple as explaining it, and they go on. But for some reason, some people think it's.
And then the real art in the funny way is once you do put emphasis on it, it becomes a thing. You know what I mean? It's just you putting this type of light on it and making a big deal out of it makes it a big deal all of a sudden.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. It's if your parents tell you you definitely can't go do this thing, you want to go do that thing.
There you go.
I don't mean be gay, but you want to learn more about it, especially if your parents are being incredibly insane about it.
Definitely. But I went off on a tangent there.
Oh, sorry, that's all good. So what we do here.
So my dad, when he was younger and he was in the Navy, my stepfather to be exact, he would when he was overseas on the aircraft carrier, he would read comic books to pass the time away. And then when he got home, he would just dump them in my room and unknowingly turned me into a comic book fiend.
That's awesome.
But at the time I was drawing stuff, but I wasn't actively making my own comics yet. Because I wasn't if I remember, I wasn't really familiar with comic books. I was more into like it's foggy to me. This is my
Hmm.
time in Memphis, but I remember watching Speed Racer,
Oh yeah, that's a
being
classic.
excited about that and thinking that it was different for some reason, and Star Blazers.
Oh yeah, also
And
classic.
yeah, TV shows like Battlestar Galactica, which I remember I think I got in trouble at school, second grade or something. I was drawing Vipers and Cylons. You
That's
know,
awesome.
and so but they had noticed that I had a above average ability to draw.
Mhm.
People started saying that. Of course, as a kid, I'm not thinking of anything of it. I'm just thinking like, oh, not everyone can do this.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So it started, dawning on me I had a talent for it. And so, but still I wasn't, I was looking at the comics, and at the time, I think the very first comic I to my earliest recollection was Paladin and Spider-Man Marvel team up.
Oh, I had that comic too. That
Did
was
you have that
that
one?
was one of my early ones. Yeah, it might have
Yeah.
been like the
So
Marvel Tales reprint or something, but I definitely had it. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So I remember that one affecting me, and I just kept looking at it. Like there's something, the art looked old to me, like kind of old
Hmm.
school. But at the same time, it was like real, I don't know, something about it just captivated me. Especially that opening page, that first page, I think you could Google it too, like Paladin and
Yeah, yeah,
coming
yeah.
in, guns blazing, and his foot was coming toward the camera, like it was a forced perspective type of drawing. And I forgot who drew the thing, but it was kind of like one of those artists that was trying to do the Jack Kirby thing,
Oh
but
yeah.
not quite.
Yeah,
So
I remember that comic so well. It's funny because my
yeah,
brother for Christmas gave me, I don't think it was one of them, so it must have fell away somewhere in the mix, but he gave me all the comics. We like when I was a kid, we only had a stack of comics and we just reread the same ones over and over again. We
right.
get a new one every once in a while, and as it got older, the pile got big. But that first pile of comics, my brother found them and gave them all to me for Christmas this year. And it was
Oh,
kind of a real like trip down memory lane to see all these comics that I read so much as a kid and look at them again. Like it's probably been 25 years since I've looked
hmm
at them.
hmm
So it was wild. But yeah, Paladin was a cool character. I don't know where I should check in at what he's doing in the Marvel universe right now.
I
I
have
haven't
no
seen him
idea.
in a long time. He's kind of one of
Um,
those Punisher knockoffs, sort of, but he was sort of like a gun
right,
for hire, right? So
right.
just seemed like the Punisher was kind of popular. So there's a lot of guys showing up that are just sort of bounty hunters with guns.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's
So
really cool.
yeah, so fast forward, the real, and you probably heard this a million times, but the day my stepdad took me and my brother to see Star Wars.
Hmm.
Now that we went in there, of course I hadn't seen it before. I think I might have saw a trailer for it, and that was exciting. And I remember that trailer distinctively because they said a million years in the making. Something like, I was like, what? A million years? And it looked really cool.
Yeah.
And this could be happening right now in a universe near you. Stuff like that. It's just like, what? So my mind was racing off the trailer, but I didn't have any power to go see the movie, and I wasn't conscious enough to even know when the thing premiered or none of that.
Hmm.
It's just one day we pull up to the movie theater. He said we're gonna go watch a movie, and we had been to the movies with him before, and he would take us to see stuff like Scanners and Jaws
Awesome. That's
and
awesome.
The Omen and freak us out. Like what the
Scanners. That's
right,
amazing.
right.
That's quite a
So
movie to take your kids to. That's a Canadian movie too.
yeah, but it was freaking us out. Like what dude? Give me nightmares.
Well,
And
the '70s had such crazy movies. So like,
yeah,
you
heads
know,
exploding and stuff.
yeah. I guess Star Wars is like a breath of fresh air. You're like, oh,
Well, we didn't think we were going to see Star Wars. I thought we were like, oh, here we go. We're going to see
there's
some
like a
adult.
Bergman movie in Star Wars. He's taking me to that Ingmar Bergman movie for sure.
Yeah. And back in those days, they were still showing cartoons before the movie started.
Oh,
So
nice.
they played Duck Dodgers in 24th and a half century. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
but that came on first. So, oh, okay, that's cool. Now the movie starts, and we're like, here we go. Let me get ready to go to sleep here. And then, of course, the 20th Century Fox logo pops up, and then Star Wars logo. Oh, this okay. What is this? This is pretty cool. And then that Star Destroyer came over the screen. That was it, bro. My life hasn't been the same since. Not as an artist, and that just exploded my world and just got my put its hooks into me as far as like I gotta know how they made that. I gotta know who designed that stuff. Where does this come from? I gotta be a part of that world,
That's
and that
awesome.
was it, and comics was the closest. It was the closest thing I can get to as far as like expressing myself that way.
Mm.
Where I can do it at home and I didn't need money. I just needed some school paper and some crayons.
That's
and
awesome. Well,
that's how it went,
well, you must have had a decent love of sci-fi if you were watching Battlestar Galactica and stuff,
Oh yeah. Yeah,
as a
well,
kid.
my original passion, my original career goal was to be an astronaut.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like all like Neil Armstrong was my guy. Like he was a
Really?
mythical guy to me. And I would read anything that had to do with NASA because it was like future. It was futuristic.
Mm.
Like, oh man, looking at the details of the rockets and how does it work and all this other stuff. And this is pre-Star Wars, right?
Yep.
And so that was all I had. And even what's that monkey that went to the moon? Curious George.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
That was like one of my favorite children. I would read that thing over and over. And yeah, so Star Wars just took it to the next level. So anything pre-Star Wars immediately became out like obsolete to me.
Mm.
Like
No,
I
just
couldn't
in
sit
the
through
garbage. It's all Star Wars
yeah,
now.
I couldn't even sit through Star Trek, like the original series, because my
Mm.
dad was a heavy Star Trek head. And he would watch the original series. And back in those days, it would always come on almost at midnight. It was like one of the last things they play on TV before the TV went off, the channels went off. But I couldn't sit through it after I saw Star Wars. And like, when are they going to start fighting? All this philosophical diatribe that they would go through, I couldn't deal with it.
At least the original series, you got a little more actual fighting. You'd have Kirk fighting the Gorn or something every once in a while. But you're
Yeah,
right. Like it.
yeah, but even the effects. Once you see Star Wars, the effects couldn't hold up either.
Yeah.
It's like no, man.
Which is kind of impressive if you think about, like, I mean, obviously Star Wars is what it is today, this multimedia juggernaut. But
Yeah,
like at the time, like that had a decent budget, but it wasn't like the biggest budget of all time. Like they did a lot with not that much or a decent
you mean
amount
Star
for it.
Trek?
Or Star Wars.
Oh, Star Wars.
Like even what they in that first movie they achieved with models and puppets and like long before the CGI days. It's
Yeah,
wild the swings they took and how good it looks. Even if you watch go watch the if you can track down a non special edition version where they fix things up. Because when I was a kid, I only had like the VHS tapes of the first three in a
Hmm.
box set. I got it for Easter, I remember, and I was very excited 'cause I watched the first one at my cousin's house, and it was like I was probably like 10. I came to it later. And
Hmm.
I was super I just wanted to watch it over and over again. So mom and dad got me the set. And yeah, man, I watched it so much. But like even watching that, because that was before the special edition re-releases where they kind
Right,
of tinkered with
right,
everything. It still looks really good. Like
right,
even by today's standards, it's
right,
impressive.
right.
So,
I mean,
it's
I can now when I look at it, I can see, quote unquote, see the wires.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, but that's because we're so our eyes are acclimated to HD now.
yeah.
So now we see things that we it's weird how our brains work. Um, for instance, like when I met my wife, I didn't really play video games, right?
Hmm.
Until I met her. My wife is Japanese and she had a PlayStation.
Hmm.
And she kind of got me into PlayStation and we played Tomb Raider,
Nice.
right?
Like the first one?
Yeah. Like
Nice.
Tomb Raider 1 and 2. I
Yep.
think 2. I don't know. It was the first two, I know that. But at the time, I remember looking at it and like, wow, look at the graphic. Looks real. Looks
Oh, polygonal with the
real.
boobs
Yeah.
are like pointy.
Yeah, but I didn't notice any of that
Yeah,
until
I know.
until many years later. I look back at it like, what the hell? So you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah,
how come it's weird that I couldn't see that? My brain couldn't see that back then.
yeah.
Regis-
Well,
registered it as those polygons look way smoother in my mind back then.
yeah, yeah. I
You
used to
know?
think about that too. About was it the I used to play a lot of the wrestling game, like WrestleMania 2000 for the N64. And like we played that. Me and my friends play that game so much, and my cousins over and over again. And you look back on it now, and yeah, they're just like polygons, and you're like, it looks so much like The Rock. And you look at it now, you're like, it does not look very much like The Rock.
No, no,
But it's
no.
wild, like especially now the technology has kind of gotten to this world where I'm sure AI is going to come in and do something with all this, but now you get these like I collect like Blu-rays and 4Ks and stuff of movies.
Mhm.
So, sometimes these old movies that were like Roger Corman movies made like in the 80s that were very bare bones, low budget movies. They're getting these re-releases and these big sets and these rescan at high definition 4K and you watch them and like it doesn't do a service to it because there are a lot of things hidden by the darkness. And now that it's like literally open, wide open, you see a lot more of the things you shouldn't have seen
Yeah.
before. There was one, I think it was Galaxy of Terror, maybe it was called, and Sid Haig, who was kind of a character actor. He was in a lot of stuff. He
Mhm.
was Captain Howdy in the Rob Zombie like the Devil's Rejects movies.
Oh,
But
okay.
he's in it when he's young. And there's a scene he gets his arm cut off. And then as a ghost, he appears later. And all these ghosts sort of appear around the guy. And his arm is missing. But when you, in the high def, you can see his arm is painted black and it's behind his body like this. And like you could literally see it just behind him running in like this with the arm
Yeah,
behind his back. And it's so
yeah.
funny. My wife and I are watching it. And I pause. I'm like, wait a minute. And I pause. So you can just see the hand
Totally
clear as
see it.
day, painted black behind him.
Yeah, it's
So,
not meant. Yeah, that stuff
yeah.
wasn't. It was designed for the technology at the time.
Oh,
Like
yeah. Yeah.
they just like matte paint, like in Star Wars. Like if you look at Empire Strikes Back, you could totally tell now that Hoth, the backgrounds are painted.
I kind of miss matte paintings, though. They were beautiful. Like, that was such a cool art.
But it wasn't designed for the resolution that we have.
No, no, you can do, yeah. I think it was
Because
The Thing I watched, and they had something where it was obviously a matte painting. You could tell when they're coming down to
yeah,
look at the alien ship that it was painted.
yeah, because
Um,
part of the illusion, the artist is was it Matt McQuire?
Rob McQuarrie?
Rob McQuarrie?
What was Robin
Okay,
McQuarrie?
they weren't.
Or Charles
It's not
McQuarrie?
that they didn't know how to add more details. They accounted for the resolution settings that they had
Yeah.
back.
Oh, yeah.
So they knew that from this distance, that information will be filled in.
Hmm.
It's like a Matisse,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah.
You look at it close, it's just a bunch of dashes.
Yeah.
Step back far enough, it all comes together. It's
Yeah.
not meant to be looked at, like
Yeah.
like that. So it's not. It had nothing to do with the levels, the skill set of those artists back then. They understood that they were making it. They were trying to hit a mark, so
Mhm.
to speak. you
Yeah.
know.
That's- Yeah. Ralph McQuarrie was his name. But now that
Yeah, Ralph
I looked it up,
McQuarrie.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even in comics, Marvel releases. I forget what you call them when they re-release the classic comics with the today's printing,
Hmm.
and you're looking at it, and it's like, how it looks like it's flat. It looks flatter because those color, like it's too. You're not accounting. This was meant to be a newsprint, not ultra white paper.
Yeah. Glossy. Yeah.
Yeah, where the ink is not sinking in, and where it diffuses it a little.
It's kind of wild to me too, like, because I just got into like trying to read some digital comics more, just for the sake of space. Like, I have so much space in my house is crammed with books now. Um, and like with the Marvel app, you can go back and read like almost every Marvel comic ever made. And some of them, like, they must have like a team carefully recoloring everything, or I don't know if it's recoloring or just like scanning them
Some
in a
of it
different
is.
way or something. Because some of it's incredibly vibrant for a comic that was printed on newsprint in the 70s.
Yeah,
So, or 60s even. So
yeah. Some of that stuff is recolored.
it's got a meticulous group
They,
of people that are just doing that.
if they still have the original scans,
Right.
You know,
But you think about the sheer amount of work that would go into that, right? Like people just sitting around rescanning old artwork and
yeah.
trying to color it up. Like that'd be insane.
They feel they can sell it, they'll invest into
Well, that's a good point.
it.
So,
I mean,
when you start making your own comics, I know I've read a
okay,
little.
so when I started making my own comics, now we're talking like early 80s, and that's when I came across Teen Titans, George Perez,
Nice.
Marv Wolfman. Now, I want to say issue 39?
Mhm.
The issue with Tara first showed up.
Oh, the Judas Contract one?
Yeah, but the very time, like her first appearance,
Right, yeah.
she's on the cover. She's in the center of the cover, and she's got the Titans like uh stuck in rocks, something, and it's like this
Yeah.
circular composition, something or other.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Yeah, it's number 28.
is it 28?
Yeah.
Okay, so
She has that
I
sort of Galactus helmet thing on.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I opened that issue, man, and that's just that I must have read that book a trillion times over and just studied it. Like, I don't know, it just captured me, and I immediately created my version of the Teen Titans called Power Knights,
Mm.
which I still write and draw to this day. But they were inspired off of the Teen Titans, and I credit Marv Wolfman and Perez as the DNA of how I learned how to put comic books together.
Really?
Kind of like an unofficial education, because I was like fiending every month. I had to find out what happens next, and it was a soap opera. Like, ooh, Tara is actually working for Terminator, and
Hmm.
Garfield is in love with her, and he doesn't know that she's actually a villain. And Kid Flash is quitting the Titans, and Robin becomes Nightwing, and I thought he was going to become Batman, and I was just all me and my friends were just all in. If we weren't heavily talking about Teen Titans, we were talking about the latest issue of Frank Miller's Daredevil.
Nice.
And especially when the hand came into the picture with Stick and Elektra, like we absorbed that all in real time. So like when Elektra got killed, that was like the talk of the town. Like, whoa, did you see that? I can't believe he did that. Oh my God.
That's
So
awesome. That sounds like
yeah.
you had a wonderful community, like a comics reading community to enjoy together with it.
Yeah,
That's
that was
awesome.
our era, like that whole 80s run, like when all those legends were the Frank Miller legend was being built, and Arthur Adams and
Mm.
um who else? Perez. That was like our era when we were
Mm.
kids,
Oh yeah.
collecting that stuff in real time. And then all the Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Indiana Jones, and then we were watching GI Joe, Thundercats, Transformers, He-Man, like all when it was fresh and new.
Hmm.
That was our era. All the stuff that they make the movies for now, because
Yeah.
our generation is in a position to actually call some shots in Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's
And
why you're
also,
seeing this stuff.
yeah. And also our generation are the ones that have the money to pay for the tickets to go watch the movies and
Exactly.
bring our kids if we have kids, right? So
Exactly. Because
you know, so that
when I was a little kid, I had to settle for Lone Ranger.
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
he's all right, he's cool. He was cool. I was
Yeah.
into it, but I wasn't into it. Like it didn't, it
It's
didn't.
wild what Hollywood thinks when it comes to like reprinting some of that stuff. Like I get, like, believe me, I'm a nerd. I was born 85. Like I grew up in the 90s, like Turtles, all that stuff is my generation. So it's like every once in a while they're like, hey, we're doing a big budget Lone Ranger movie, and you're like, who wants that? Like who's asking for it? Like
I was saying the
who's sitting
same thing.
around going, who
I was
wants
saying the
like
same thing.
it was an okay movie, I guess,
Yeah.
but it
It
was
wasn't
like
our generation. It
no,
wasn't
like we
our
didn't.
generation, so we couldn't connect in the same way that someone older could.
I suppose, and I guess if you think about it now, that like even like when they made the Wild Wild West movie, like that was an old TV show that was
Mhm.
like way before a generation.
Mhm.
But I guess if you think about it in the 90s, it wasn't that, it was like 20 years
So you
before.
said you were born in 85, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means I'm basically 15 years older than you are.
Okay.
So when I was when you're a baby, it doesn't count because you don't know what the hell's going on until
Yeah.
about 5 years old.
Yeah,
Right?
that's what I usually say. Yeah.
So you have to think when I was 5, all that stuff I just mentioned
Hmm.
didn't exist yet. It
No.
was just old stuff that
Yeah.
was already old,
Yeah.
right?
It's
So
like
I
Rocket
had,
Robin Hood and
yeah, the
the old
Lone
Hercules.
Ranger. There was the Looney Tunes.
Oh yeah.
There was Brady Bunch. I Dream of Genie, and all of that stuff was already in circulation in a good 5-10 years before I even existed.
Hmm.
So it
Yeah.
was already when I saw it, I knew I was looking at old stuff,
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and half of it was black and white,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I
you know.
like where I grew up, I only had like a couple channels, right? And one of them would show
Right.
the Addams Family a lot, like the black and white one. And
Yeah.
I was like, that was old, like, but I
Yeah.
watched a lot of it and
Yeah.
I don't know, somehow it registered. I guess some things stick around, some things don't. It just
Yeah. So
seems,
we didn't have a choice. We had to watch it because we wanted to watch something.
yeah.
And so our stuff didn't really hit the scene until beginning of the 80s when new stuff
Mm.
like Star Wars was a big thing in itself, but it also sparked things that it sparked the stuff that it was the DNA for everything else. Let me
Yeah.
put it that
Yeah.
way. Like that you start to get your Battlestar Galactica
Mm.
and Buck Rogers in 25th, even though Buck Rogers was an old concept that knew there was a TV show there for a while.
Yeah.
It really
Space 1999 and a lot of those weird shows too.
yeah, all that stuff.
But even
So
like Star Wars is heavily inspired by like old cowboy movies and old Kurosawa samurai movies,
right.
right?
You
Like
didn't know it at the time,
yeah,
though.
at the time, but yeah, but like George Lucas and his friends and like in film school were just watching all those movies, and he was sort of
Right,
like,
right,
he
right,
always said
right.
the bad cowboy always wore the black hat, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
Darth Vader.
yeah.
So
All
you
that
know,
whole
yeah,
architect. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that stuff really got us going. And then it really got going when stuff like Predator came around the
oh
turn,
yeah, yeah.
you know.
Yes,
So
sir. That's yeah. Well, and now what?
Alien,
And now we're still getting Terminator and Predator movies and Alien
still getting
movies.
it. And
Still
then
getting
you
it.
get the you had the first Aliens movie, which I was aware of, and I was like, yeah, it's okay, yeah, kind of slow, but as a kid, right?
Yeah.
Now I think it's brilliant,
Mm.
but
What
when
I find
Alien,
interesting about that movie, and not a lot of people talk about, is almost everyone in the movie, except for Sigourney Weaver, were known actors. Like, um,
oh,
like the guy,
Roy Snyder,
the guy from the dude from The Running Man. Him, I always forget his name, but he's got a funky name. There's him, like Harry Dean Stanton, Tom, I forget his last name, but that guy, John Hurt, like they were all known as
Roy
actors.
Snyder.
And so, yeah, so like when you see the movie, uh, you think, oh, well, one of these guys is going to be the hero. Like you don't expect the woman you've never seen before to be
Yeah.
the last person to survive. So it's like someone was explaining
Was
this
that
on
her first movie?
it was, I think it was, or
Really?
it was one of her first movies, if not her first movie. She definitely
Oh,
was. No one knew who she was. She wasn't like a
right,
known actress. So,
right.
the concept that they sort of, I don't, I've always known Sigourney Weaver, Ghostbusters, whatever, to be, a big actress. But at that time, no one knew who she was. So, like, you wouldn't have expected her to be the surviving person to make it to the end, her and the cat, and kill the
You
bad
know
guy.
another thing? Nobody was tripping about a female lead
No, no,
on
you're right. No one
fantastical
cared.
things.
Yeah,
We
that's right.
just we just went with it.
Yeah, 100%.
So there's no big uproar about it.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, it seems like there's more uproar about it today than there was back then for some reason.
it's got to be a good movie too.
Yeah, well,
It's
that's
got to be
true.
a good movie. Like
Oh
that's
yeah,
the movie.
100%.
People blame casting and all this stuff. Like it's not the casting. The movie just sucks.
Yeah, yeah. Every time someone's like, "Oh, people just don't like to support this or that," it's like, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
Sometimes the movie, you're
it's
right.
got to be
Sometimes the
good.
movie just sucks. Alien was her third movie.
Oh, okay.
She did a movie called Madman, and she was actually in Annie Hall, the Woody Allen movie,
Oh, she was.
in in a role that says Alvy's date outside the theater. So I don't even know if she said anything. So it's
Hmm.
like a small role. So,
But I
but
was gonna say when that second Aliens came out,
mm,
that was the introduction of the Space Marine.
yep, 86.
Yeah, that was like that's still a good movie.
Oh man, and well, it's kind of like Terminator 1 and Terminator 2. Like it's also like movies that the tone changes. Like Alien 1, I would call a horror movie. Alien 2, I would call an action movie.
Yeah.
But they still same with Terminator. Well, I mean, Terminator 1 and 2 are both what they are,
It's
but
a dividing line, I think. The first movies, the first Aliens and the first Terminator had one foot in the old Hollywood
mm,
and one foot in the future of
yeah,
what
that's true. That is
Hollywood
true. That is
today,
true.
you know.
Because even Predator 2 is, a stark difference from Predator 1, where they're like in the city.
Totally.
And I actually really
Totally.
like Predator 2. I know people talk about it, but Danny Glover's great in it. It's a great movie. I really dig that
Yeah.
one. It's fun. You got Gary Busey in there being insane,
Yeah.
and Bill Paxton getting, killed by a predator. And you got like the
Yeah.
weird, like, was it Jamaican drug lord that was like,
I think it
that
has
was,
a cult following.
I can see why. I
I
liked it.
watched it recently. I was like, I don't know.
Everyone's always like, bring back Schwarzenegger to the franchise. I'm like, bring back Danny Glover. Bring him
Danny
back. I
Glover.
wanted it. Yeah.
I did like I did like the ending part where he was in the ship and you got to see the collection of the
Yeah, and they give him the gun, his trophy for winning.
yeah, that was
Yeah,
real cool. That was real
yeah,
cool.
I like that. That's neat.
Uh,
So I guess we should get back to you.
yeah.
I always jokingly say I should call this show the Weeds instead because we tend to get lost in them a lot. That's the joy of it, right?
Yeah.
So when do you finally get to start creating them in a meaningful way? Like, did you go to art school? Did you do anything like that, or is it just something that you follow with?
um I did go to art school very shortly.
Mhm.
Let me see. Okay, I went to Morris High School and our one of our football coaches was also an art teacher.
Oh, that's cool.
My art.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's not something you
Kind of
hear
grew
very
up with
often. Yeah.
yeah. Well, in America, it's pretty typical. Like the teachers would do two things at once.
It's just funny those two things seem like the counterproductive. So
Right?
yeah, it's
Yeah,
nice.
and
It's
if you
nice to
met
shatter
Coach,
assumptions. So
yeah, and if you met Coach Klepper and it's like this guy does art, he was kind of a hard ass.
oh really?
And he had a hard on for Disney. Like he like you say anything bad about Disney around him, he's gonna chop your head off.
Really?
So and so at the time, I was a kid that thought Disney was goofy, childish stuff. Like, I don't Disney, that's for kids, man. I look at stuff like I'm looking at Frank Miller's Daredevil and hardcore stuff,
Mhm.
watching heavy metal and the animated movie, and
Oh yeah,
I'm coming
nice.
from that space, right? So Disney was not something I looked at as an artistic cue
Mm.
until I ran into an old a high school friend of mine. Every high school or every school or neighborhood has that one kid that's like super talented, but he's out there smoking and doing whatever. But like
Hmm.
you knew he was like the Michael Jordan of your town. Like if he went to the league, he would be better than Michael Jordan.
Hmm.
He's not going to ever go there because he can't focus.
Yeah, no ambition.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
had a friend like that who was like, I'm not kidding, dude. This dude was pro level when it came to drawing cartoons already in high school. And he introduced me. I went to his house and he introduced me to Disney,
Mhm.
uh, the Illusion of Life, and he made me really look and like, no, man, this is good stuff. Like, look at this. Look at the way they drew this. Look at the structure of this and all this stuff. And I'm like, damn, okay. And he also introduced me to Frank Frazetta.
Oh wow.
And
Yeah.
he had
Nice.
a collection of Frank Frazetta stuff, and I was like, what the? And it just blew my mind. And so I started to get an appreciation through him. I got an appreciation for Disney and Frank Frazetta and stuff like that, that type of stuff outside of my comic book space.
Mm.
And so that art teacher at my school kept pounding into my head, hey, you need to go to Cal Arts. What's Cal Arts? That's where the Disney animators go to learn how to animate and get a job working for Disney. That's where you need to go. And I'm like, wow. So I'm like, they don't have to do math and stuff.
That's gotta be a real eye opener for a kid. Like, well, I don't have to do all the stupid stuff that I don't want to do in
Yeah,
school.
so I'm like, I got to get into that school.
Yeah.
And so I applied, and sure enough, I got accepted. So that the summer after I graduated from high school, I went straight to LA from San Diego and got enrolled into Cal Arts. Unfortunately for me, I didn't have any money to continue on. Like I never had a whole lot of money to begin with, but that school is very expensive. It's still expensive to this day. And I only lasted for about a semester and a half where I had to drop out because I couldn't come up with the money for tuition. But I wasn't ready to come back to San Diego, right? So I secretly went to class. I would just sit in the back and try not to draw attention to myself and do the work anyway.
Wow.
Because they knew I was a student. I was a student.
Yeah.
So, but they weren't necessarily aware of my status. Like I wasn't technically supposed to be on campus anymore. But I was sneaking around, going to class. I had a girlfriend. Yeah, I had a girlfriend there at the time. So I was sneaking the windows, through the windows, sleep, lay my head in her dorm. And it was crazy, bro. And but
wow, how long did you get to do? Did you get caught? Did you get caught eventually?
Almost sometime, but well, kind of. But they let me off on warnings because I knew the staff. Like they were, hey man, Keith, man, I'm supposed to kick you out of here, but just be careful if you're gonna do this. Otherwise I gotta kick you out.
Yeah.
So, all right. Because I would be at the parties and I would be hanging out. I would be in the lobby hanging out with my friends.
Just living the whole life, even though you're not in school.
So, some people would catch on. And it's
sounds like a zany, like teenage comedy movie.
It was.
Yeah.
It was a whole soap opera, dude. Wow. I'm not even telling you half of it. This was LA in the early 90s. So imagine being in the world. They literally could make a movie out of what I went through. This is LA when LA was literally felt like the center of the universe. This is during we had the LA riots when I was there. We had OJ. Tupac was running around. Mandela had just been released from jail and became the South African president, and he came to LA to do one of his first speeches, and we all went to listen to him.
Oh wow.
I would go to clubs in Hollywood and I would run into people like Wesley Snipes, Ice-T, Dr. Dre, Snoop, all of that stuff was going on, bro. This is when everybody was brand spanking new, and we were all the same age, right? So we would just all end up hanging out in the same little clubs and spots just because of our age group. So even Jamie Foxx, I was hanging out with him one night, just rapping around him. He's a really short dude too. But it was part of that energy, is what I'm saying, right? Now, here I am secretly running around Cal Arts, but I needed to still eat. I needed money, right? So I would go to, and I could have just went home, stayed with my mom, with my parents, but I didn't want to leave. All my friends were in LA. I was having a good time, and I just felt like I'd be a failure. I came up here to be an artist. I'm not going home. And so I would go into the school job office. They would have jobs posted on the board for students, but the students were rarely using it. And I really needed a job. And so I would go in there, write them, they're hiring, write the number down, and I would call, hey, yeah, how did you hear about us? Yeah, I'm a student at Cal Arts. Oh, okay. Yeah, come on down for an interview. Okay, I'll be there. And of course, I wasn't a student any longer, but
they didn't even know that.
And I would pick up little odd jobs for little indie films, drawing storyboards, or someone needed a comic book made, or some conceptual work. And it was a lot of that, but you throw in stuff like working at the warehouse or working at a retail store, all of that was in there too. But it was just, all of that stuff is going on. So it kind of molded me as a man, made me a man, and it gave me a perspective on the world, from those experiences. So I always contribute LAS the what grew me up. That city group turned me into a man, took me from boy to man.
Yeah.
Because I was forced to survive,
Yeah.
and I found myself in a lot of situations because I was a naive kid, pretty innocent kid that picked up a lot of street smarts when I was up there through the people I commingled with and the situations we found ourselves in. So yeah, it was a time.
Yeah. Jesus, sounds like it.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool though. You kind of like, you sort of like gig economied your way into art, a little bit. Like you try to get into it the right
I'll
way.
give you a story that's comic book related.
Oh, sure.
One of the jobs I went down to was a comic book job, right? That I got off the school board, and it was somewhere in LA, in the Valley, and I come up to this building. It looks benign. It looks like almost. I don't even remember there being any signage.
Mm-hmm.
And I knock on the door, and someone comes to the door, walk in there. It's kind of dark in there, and it's a room full of comic book artists, I assume, right? And I'm the youngest. Obviously I'm the youngest guy there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm basically a kid, and they're looking at my stuff, and they're like, "It's pretty good. It's pretty good." Who influenced you? What are your influences? Like, I like Frank Miller, Arthur Adams, George Perez. What about Dan Jurgens? They were like, "What about Dan Jurgens?" And I took a beat for Dan Jurgens. Oh, the Superman guy, the guy that draws Superman. Yeah. I guess I wasn't enthusiastic enough.
Oh, was it for him?
Huh?
Was it for him?
Dude, that's what I thought. Let me finish.
All right, sorry.
I was like, I knew he drew Superman, but I wasn't following Dan like that. At the time, he wasn't that known. I mean, he was known, but he wasn't that seasoned.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, he's pretty good. He's pretty good, but I'm more of a Frank Frazetta type guy. And that dude's face turned so red, bro. And it's like his whole demeanor switched on me. It's like, all right, so we're done here. We're done here. And I think within less than 30 seconds, I found myself outside on the sidewalk.
Wow.
Not knowing what happened. I just remember getting pushed a little bit out the door. And I was like, the fuck happened? What did I say? Because I was being honest, right?
Yeah.
I didn't insult anyone. I did say I didn't like Dan Jurgens, but I knew it had something to do with Dan Jurgens. And so many years later, I'm like, was that Dan Jurgens? I don't know if it was or it wasn't, but I always think about that day and how, man, dude, they just threw me out the building like in a cartoon. Like, you ever see the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Oh yeah. Oh, like Jazz.
It felt like that. Like,
at the door, yeah.
Bro.
Wow, that's wild. I'd like to. That must have something to do with him. I mean, it'd be funny if it was him.
It had something to do. They were either working for the man or ultra fans, or it was actually him. And I just wasn't aware. And
if you saw it, would you recognize him? If you saw his picture, like if you looked at the danger.
No, I still wouldn't know. You know,
that's awesome.
And I wasn't dude. I might have been 19 years old at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty. I wouldn't say shitty, but it's not. I guess it's a very human response. But you'd say like you can't assume everyone knows. You know, if you're some kind of a celebrity, even no matter what level you're at, you can't necessarily assume everybody knows who you are. It's kind of
right.
It's not a great thing to default to be like, well, surely you know who I am. You know, it's like, well, no, I don't. You know, not everybody reads comics or your comics. There's a lot of comics.
I just couldn't believe how mad the dude got. I was like, wow.
Well, ego's a powerful thing, you know.
Like, damn.
That's wild.
But that is one of the I got so many stories, dude. I was even at I was I don't want to say hired. These older gentlemen made me a partner.
Okay.
Now this is the era when Spike Lee was really hot, right?
Uh-huh.
He had done Do the Right Thing. He did Mo Better Blues, and So there was a lot of Afrocentric stuff happening in the early 90s, like stuff on TV, like Martin was on TV and
Mm-hmm.
In Living Color and stuff like that, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So these gentlemen who were not black, they wanted to make a black superhero and pitch it to their Hollywood connects. They had
Okay.
access to a lot of producers in Hollywood. And through CalArts, I guess they found me. And it was a character called Black Thunder who had the power of sound, which was cool, right? You know, you can use sound waves and whatnot. But when they showed me their initial design, I was like, no fucking way. That it was a dude, it was a black guy with a radio stuck in his chest, like literally melted into his chest, and music would come out of it.
Oh wow.
And I was like, there's no way I'm attaching myself to this. It looked corny as hell. And so I was like, let me redesign this guy. And I redesigned him. It's like, imagine something like a Dark Knight type of uniform, but with vents for sound to come out, where the bat signal would be and stuff like that. So I made him more high tech looking and cooler
instead of a walking boombox.
Yeah, which was
Wow.
like super stereotypical.
Yeah.
And so, and it just looked corny. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro, stop. And
It's
so, huh?
I was gonna say, it's so funny to me because people like that, like there's a lot of idea men that don't have the talent to do the art side of things. So it's such a funny thing when they come to you with your thing and you're like, oh man, like no. Like no.
Yeah, to their credit, they did allow me to redesign it. And
Well, that is cool.
yeah, they weren't like sold on it. So,
Mhm.
And so we go to Warner Brothers, and we go up to George. I don't know if you remember the movie called New Jack City.
Oh yes.
Okay, so George Jackson and his partner. George Jackson is dead now. I can't remember his partner. The two of them produced. They produced the House Party movies also.
Yep.
Anyway, George Jackson, he's a burly guy, and he's all like, at the time, I think they were working with Milestone Comics in DC, but he wouldn't tell us that, right? He just said, he was like, this stuff is good. That's how he talks. This shit is good. It's like I put it on par with the stuff we're working over there with DC. And I was like, who are you working with for DC? Don't worry about it. So, okay, all right. So he claimed that he liked our stuff, and he wanted to meet with us again. So we're getting excited, right? We're going to get our big Hollywood deal. But he was like, let me show you guys something. He gets up out of his chair and he walks over to this closet in his office. He opens the closet, and dude, the entire closet's packed with people who have submitted their scripts to him. This is where the shit normally goes. So you guys are lucky that you gotten this far. And I'm like, oh. I remember looking at it and like, man, all of those people waiting for a response.
Yeah.
Stacked on top of someone else's, on top of someone else's, on top of someone else in this closet. And so the meeting's over, and he goes to George Jackson and some other folks happen to be going to lunch across the street from where I parked my car. And I was driving an old Volkswagen at the time that I had to cross my fingers to start that it starts.
Yeah.
Right. So he saw me across the street. I think I might have waved at him, right? And I get in my car and the thing won't start. And, oh, no. Don't do this to me. Not in front of these people. Because they could clearly see me.
You're just like, yeah.
I'm sitting, I have to get out my car. I'm looking at the engine, trying to figure out how to get my car started in front of these people. And they're over there at some high-priced restaurant about to get lunch. And I needed help. I look across the street to try to make eye contact with George. And this dude would not look at me for shit. And that, right, it's like, I could tell it's almost telepathically, he said, don't you dare come over here. Don't you do it. And so I was like, fuck, I'm on my own. And so I learned, I eventually got the car started. But I learned it through that experience and some other similar experiences that in Hollywood, it's a lot of egos that you got to stroke, and they're not gonna quote unquote bring themselves down to your level to even give you a helping hand.
Yeah.
It embarrasses them or whatever, or makes them look smaller.
Yeah.
And so it, I don't want to say it made me jaded, but it made me understand that if a studio gives me a promissory note or some type of what do you call it when they option you, it doesn't mean anything.
No.
It really doesn't mean anything. And so it matured me in that way when I'm out there and doing business and shopping something. And or I hear my friends who are in the industry like, oh, I got a movie deal with Netflix and all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, that's good.
Wait until it's made. Wait until it's in pre-production or it's
Not
being made, you know.
Yeah. And none of them have gotten anything made. I'm talking friends who've had deals for good 6-10 years now.
Yeah. Yeah, and they pay you minimal money to keep the rights, and they just go and go and go, and
yeah, and it's like, and it doesn't mean they're not going to get something.
No,
but at the same, it's like I remember that how excited they were when they announced it and all this other stuff, and I just knew that that's not how it works.
No, there's that closet full of scripts is a sad like a drop in the ocean. That is, the people that are, but I guess for the sake of the Hollywood machine, as it were, there are a lot of people that don't really have the talent that are trying to get in there. So I suppose, but I'm sure
they have the connections, though.
Yeah, that's true.
They have the connections.
But I'm sure if you were to read, all those scripts, I'm sure there'd probably be some pretty good ones in there. But it's just it's a lot of reasons why they don't. But
I wouldn't be surprised if some of those scripts mysteriously did end up getting made. Change the name, change this a little bit,
Yeah. And when you learn more about the way that industry works, because I'm a big movie guy, it's so wild, like how some of the arbitrary reasons things don't get made. Like, what was it? There was, I think, Joe Dante or someone was talking about I don't know if it was Joe Dante. I think it was, it'll kind of mean a minute, but he was talking about how he was supposed to make a zombie movie. It was like in the 70s or the 80s. They were supposed to make like a remake of the Universal Zombie, and they had this whole cool concept, and it was going to be made. But then like someone's like, oh well, we had a or Mummy, movie, and then they're like, oh, we had a zombie movie come out just last year, and it's like we don't need like 2 movies where slow people are shambling. It's just not good. And it's like it's such an arbitrary, dumb reason. You're like, how many movies come out? Like that's the reason. So it's
they're either making their version of Walking Dead, or they're saying there's too many of them.
Yeah.
It gets oversaturated where they don't want everyone has superhero fatigue now, so they don't want to see any more superhero movies.
Yeah. I feel like superhero movies have kind of become a genre now. It's not just like Western, or it's like now superhero movies are just a genre like that because they have their own subgenres that fit. They're either kind of futuristic and spacey, or they're down to earth actiony, or they're political, or they're it just depends on the one that you're within the Marvel universe. Anyway, it really seems like they have sort of subdivisions pretty quickly coming with all those.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, bro. So I went to Cal Arts. I thought it was going to be a Disney animator, and I got into it, and I realized I didn't want to sit there all day working on something that's going to be on the screen for only 2 seconds. And it was it was too much being a cog in the wheel where I couldn't be an individual. So it just didn't vibe. It didn't jive with the type of artist I was. So I just kind of gradually found my way back to comics, and
beautiful
just stuff in video games for a hot second, and just bounced around and just kind of lost a little bit all through the 90s, just trying to. My style I feel like my style kind of went a little wonky too, because but when I went to Cal Arts, I wasn't aware of the rise of Image Comics.
So I was going to say, was it Image inspired? Because that was like a real change.
I stopped. I got so heavy into animation, comics just kind of disappeared for a moment. And so when I started going back to the comic shop, I was like, who the fuck is Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee? Who are these guys? Because you have to understand, when I left out of comics, Arthur Adams was the guy, and
Mhm.
Frank Miller was the guy. He had just did Dark Knight, and um, those guys were the top dogs, right?
Mhm.
So when I come back, all of a sudden these Image guys are all over the place. In that early that 1990 91, I wasn't really paying attention to what was going on. So I missed the whole X Force run and the whole Todd McFarlane Spider-Man #1 and his run on
Mhm.
Spider-Man and Jim Lee's X-Men run. Like that stuff was happening out of my purview.
Mhm.
So I would maybe catch glimpses of it, but didn't pay too much attention to it because, like a Rob Liefeld, I didn't, no, I'm not trying to hate on Rob Liefeld, but I didn't recognize his work as something comic book standard. Like
Mhm.
I just like, and then I find out that he's highly successful, and I'm like, what? And did I miss? It's like I was in hibernation.
Mhm.
And then I come back to this whole different world in comic books. And so I started altering my style, like a lot of artists in the 90s, to look like the bombastic Image splash page style with the cross hatching
Interesting.
and all that stuff.
Interesting.
And if I could go back in time, I would not have done that.
Well, I think your style, like, I mean, not that I comment on other people's art styles, but like, I love your style. It's really cool. But
I appreciate
I would have guessed that it was heavily inspired, like you grew up with Image Comics. Um,
it. Yeah.
just based on like just what I'm looking at for the Power Knights.
Yeah.
It's kind of reminds me of Michael Turner and some of that stuff that was around that time period a little bit.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I wanted to keep. It wasn't. I was obviously influenced by it,
yeah.
but I think that if that didn't happen, I think my style would probably. I think my natural course would have. My stuff probably would be more on the Frazetta
Hmm.
side.
Oh
Maybe,
yeah. Yeah.
you
The
know,
painting. Yeah.
if I were to show you some of my older high school stuff,
Hmm.
like the Arthur Adams. If you could imagine, I was a mix of Arthur Adams, Frazetta, and anime, early anime, manga. Not even manga. Like I was a huge Macross fan,
Oh yeah.
like
Nice.
super big fan of Macross.
That's
I,
awesome.
yeah, and so if you imagine mixing that into a pot, that's what you got out of me.
I can see the anime influence, especially in the American Great comic. I was looking at some of your art from that.
Yeah,
And that definitely kind of through in there as well. I love the
yeah.
design of that character, by the way. It's so cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's a real fun book.
Yeah,
Well,
huh?
I was just gonna say, like, the fact that you came back to working on like the characters you created as a kid, because like when
Mm.
I was a kid, I used came up with my own superheroes and stuff too, and some of them are still lingering in there, but I haven't done anything with it in a million years. I think you're kind of like living the dream as it were, because a lot of people don't get a chance to do that, and it's really cool that these characters that have been with you so long still get to live in your work.
That was
Um,
by design too, because when I seriously put those books out, I was working as a full-time graphic commercial artist. I was
mhm.
working for a marketing company, and I wasn't doing any cartooning there, but they were using me more as composite. I was doing more like magazine ads, billboards, stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
But like you said, the Power Knights never left me. I would always draw them in my free time and update them and all that stuff. And I said, I started feeling my mortality. I'm like, I'm getting a little long in the tooth here. I need to do this for real. Um, but I didn't want to. I made a calculated risk. I don't want to say risk, but I made a calculation that I'm not going to trust my adult jaded mind. I'm going to just try to reproduce my thoughts as a kid as close as possible, but make sense of it in this book. So I looked at the designs. I made some alterations to it, but try to keep the basis of what was there already from when I designed them as a kid. Because I think my calculation was whatever I thought was attractive or magical about these characters when I was a kid has to resonate with today's kids. Because if I look at it as an adult, I'm going to think things are silly. I'm going to I'm going to overanalyze it. And the magic, I'm going to lose some of that magic. And so that's the way I approached the Power Knights when I sat down to do what you're looking at now. I just wanted to keep a piece of my childhood intact as far as the conception of it all, you know, in hopes that it will resonate to today's kids.
Yeah, well, even just the whole like your company, Keithan Comics, and what it stands for, like celebrating the kid in you and that kid in you never letting that kid in you die. I mean that's something that every nerd is sort of is very familiar with. I look around all the nerdy shit I got behind me. So there, like the idea that you're passionate enough about that concept and how important it is to sort of nurture the creativeness that comes from that internal child concept. I don't know, I just thought it was very cool. It's something I resonated with immediately when I looked at some of your stuff and read about why you do what you do and the concept behind the name and the product itself. So,
and that name came from when I when I was in the sixth grade. Teacher was like, "Hey, if you guys could have anything you want for Christmas, what would it be?" And write a paragraph about it. And I wrote, "I would like to have my comics published." And so my sixth grade teacher happened to know a printer in town, and she was like, how would you like to? How would you like to make a comic and we'll print it?" I'm like, "Oh, really? Okay." And so I made a Star Wars comic. It was my version of it was the sequel to Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, okay. So before Return
my version of it,
yeah.
Right? It was called Star Wars Monsters Prey, and they were still on Hoth, and I concocted some story. Luke gets caught in a cave with some monsters or whatever. And I ended up being in the local paper and on the newspaper. It's my first time having media on me, right? And the title of my feature in the paper said Kid Comics Keithan. And so that's where I got the name of my company. I just remember that title in the paper.
That's awesome.
But the Kid and You Never Dies, that was something I added that. It just kind of worked with KID. It just all of this stuff was serendipitous, man. Like it just happened.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. No, it's like that. But most stories are that way, right? But you are the sum total of your experiences, right? So, but no, I really that part really resonated with me, and I was really excited to talk with you, basically based on that. So what are as it just continuing on with this property? Do you have other comics coming out? Anything down the line to promote?
I just finished. Well, I'm not just finished, but I just had I did a book, my first book of Image Comics. I don't know. Do you know Chris Ryle?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Chris Ryle, who used to head IDW. He left IDW. He has his own publishing brand called Synergy or something like that. And he did some books under Synergy that published under Image. And this last year, he has a series called Dread the Halls, which is an anthology series for like Christmas season.
Nice.
And so again, it was another accident. Chris knew about me. He's known me, because we all live in San Diego.
Yeah.
So he's known about me for some years, but he's never approached me with anything. And so I was 2025 free comic book day. I was here at my desk and I'm gonna go to the comic store. It's free comic book day. Take a break. Went down there. Chris was like, "Hey, Keith, I've been looking for you." "Yeah, what's up? Would you be interested in doing a 10-page story for my anthology?" "Hell yeah." And so especially coming out under Image.
Mhm.
And so yeah, man, it was like, but I only had like a couple of months to put the thing together.
Yeah.
Like almost like a last minute thing. It's like, damn, okay. So I stopped everything I was in the middle of just to put this Santa Claus Goes to Mars story that the concept that he gave me, and we both just kind of pieced it together real quick. And that came out this last December. My first work under Image came out this last December, so that was pretty exciting.
That's awesome. Wow,
Yeah,
congratulations.
yeah, thanks, man.
Huge.
And outside of that, I'm working on that graphic novel for that Vortex I told you about.
Mhm.
And then I have some other clients in LA I do books for, some indie Black publishers, because I'm into what we call the Afrofuturism scene, which is basically, it's like when you think of Japanese comic book artists, you call it manga or
Mhm.
anime. We're coining the phrase of Afrofuturism, so which basically is Black creative arts. Um,
Was that
you
an
know,
anthology book? It was like Comics is the New Black or Black is the New Comics or something. Was that connected through them?
Black the New Comics.
Something like it's kind of like a take on Orange is the New Black, but it was like Comics are the New Black is the New. I can't remember what it was, but I talked to quite a few people that are involved with an anthology series, and I feel like that was connected to it.
You
But
might be talking about the John Jennings thing. You familiar with it? John Jennings.
no.
He's like a consultant for Marvel right now, and he wrote some new Silver Surfer
Oh, okay.
and stuff like that.
Well, I've talked to like Anthony Fowler Jr. and Don Walker and Ray Anthony Height, and a few other folks
Yeah,
that I see on your list. So,
You mean David Walker?
Don Walker.
Don Walker. Don
Yeah,
Walker.
he's a comic guy
Oh,
too.
Don Walker, the indie guy.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, yeah, I know Don.
So,
Yeah, well, we all know each other.
yeah,
It's a small enclave. Like we
yeah,
all
that's
know.
awesome. That's really cool though.
So, yeah, we cross pollinate and
Hmm.
collab with things and stuff like that. But it all kind of taking on this moniker Afrofuturism as
Hmm.
far as and I like that because it signifies what we're doing just the way, just when you hear the word manga, you know it's coming from a Japanese perspective.
Hmm.
So when I think of Afrofuturism, okay, it's art and stories coming from an African American or just African descent
Yep.
perspective.
Yeah.
And that could be anything. It could be comedy, it could be superheroes, it could be science, whatever, you know. And I feel that, and this is my personal opinion because not everyone agrees with this, but I feel that I'm not really a big fan of Black creators doing anime manga that looks like the Black Dragon Ball,
Hmm.
for instance. Like it's clearly Dragon Ball,
Yeah.
but he's black, and it's,
uh,
like I don't really champion that type of stuff because that to me, okay, that's fan art. Give
mm,
me something like something from you, man, something original.
yeah.
You can draw in that style, fine, but I don't want to see Dollar General version of a existing IP.
Yeah.
It's not, that stuff doesn't hold water to
No.
me.
No, it won't last.
Yeah, it's parody basically.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I understand the love and the influence, but you know, try to find try to find your own way.
Yeah,
Um,
and believe in it. You got to
yeah.
believe. Like a lot of time people do this stuff because they don't believe that their own vision and their own personal style will survive the corporate landscape. And
Mm,
it's like, dude, none of this stuff was Dragon Ball, Star Wars, and all the stuff you love when it was brand new and first being pitched around. It was not a lot of no's were said to it.
hmm.
There was no guarantee Star Wars was going to be this massive cultural thing that it is now.
Hmm.
He took the chance of taking it out there and endured all the no's until someone finally said yes.
Hmm.
And you gotta believe the same way in your own project. Like you gotta be willing to take the arrows and go out there and see what happens,
Hmm.
you know, because just piggybacking off of something that's already out there can only take you so far,
Yeah.
if it takes you anywhere.
Yeah.
you know. So
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so and I'm not saying that you can't be influenced by stuff because look at Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles was aping. It was a combination of Ronin and Daredevil's and
Hmm.
Daredevil, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, I
and
love reminding
but
people that the sort of origin of Turtles and Daredevil are the same.
yeah, but it was still a brilliant, super brilliant concept because you mix ninjas with turtles, and then you were even more genius to name them after Renaissance artists. That's wild,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, and
So
long lasting, it's
yeah,
enduring. They still make new like every generation gets its own Ninja Turtles. Or
yeah,
like the
yeah,
sixth
yeah,
version, I think now. So, and there'll be probably 20 more between now and when I die. So, who knows?
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, so you can be inspired. We're all inspired by something. We
Yeah.
all pick it back off of something, but you can't just do a carbon copy
No.
and expect people to expect for it to resonate the same way. It's not.
No, it's important work though. Like, is this way you're giving a name to it, and giving a name to it? Names have power. It's recognizable. Now like perhaps it'll free some people to not feel like they have to conform to this popular version of what they want to do and just do the thing they really want to do instead of trying to make
Right,
it digestible to everybody.
right,
At least now,
right.
if they know it fits within a subgenre that encompasses, all kinds of different people doing different things, that they
Yeah,
might
you
feel a
got
little
to
freer to do
mature
that.
out of your you have to mature out of your adolescent admiration for your heroes and
Mm,
make your own mark at some point.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, that's great. That's great. That's a great line. Well, I feel like I take enough of your time, Keithan. It was really cool talking with you, man. This is
You
a real
too, man.
pleasure. Yeah, thanks very much. I look forward to checking out what's coming down the pipeline and checking out the comics now. I really want to check out the American Grit. That looks like a fun comic.
Oh, okay.
It feels like it has some. Well, I mean, both look really great. Power Knights I want to check out as well,
Yeah,
but
American Grid was just a spur of the moment thing I did early last year, just because of current events. But
yeah, what's
I didn't
going
want to
on?
put it.
What's
Yeah,
going on in the world to make you do something like this?
yeah. I didn't know how much on the nose it became,
Oh
but
yeah, I'd say.
um,
But
uh, yeah, it was something I did really quick. I think it took me less than a month to put the whole thing together.
mm,
And I just wanted to present something new at Black Comics Day, which I guess I should mention that before I get off of this thing.
sure.
I am the founder of Black Comics Day, which is going. This will be the 8th year doing it, and it takes place at World Beat Center, Balboa Park here in San Diego. And
Hmm.
it's a Black History Month event that I do every year or curate every year. And I try to gather as many as I can fit into the building of professional Black creators in the comic book industry. Um, and it's basically a quote unquote comic Black Comic Con, where if you go to San Diego Comic Con, you get more of a smorgasbord of like just everything. It's
Hmm.
almost information overload.
Oh yeah.
It's just more of a focused cultural event where if you want to let me go see what Black artists are doing specifically, and where I don't have to go searching high and low to find these people.
Hmm.
Just find them all in easy, accessible, all in one spot, and it's just like cultural experience. Like just like when you want to eat, some nights you want Chinese food, some nights you want Japanese food, some nights you want Italian. Same thing. Like sometimes you want a specific art that you
Hmm.
want to dive into, and that's what this show is about. And it's welcoming to everyone. It's free admission to everyone. Parking 3 hours parking free. It used to be free parking, but the city wants to like put up meters everywhere now. uh, but yeah, it's February 14th and 15th of that weekend here in San Diego. You go on Eventbrite / Black Comics Day 2026 to get the details. And we're gonna have special guests and a special panel. We're even gonna have Olympic gymnast Jordan Childs, who collaborated with a comic book creator, Ruben Warren, to make her first comic book. And um, she's one of our special guests. And gosh, I have this right. This nope. Oh, this one. Sure, well, I got you here.
Sure,
We
yeah.
have a special panel called Empowered. What is Afrofuturism? A discussion on the culture of Black comics in the present and moving forward. And on that panel, we have 4 people. We have Greg Burnham. He's currently a writer at DC Comics. He also is the co-creator of Tuskegee Airs, which is basically, if you heard of Tuskegee Airmen, imagine Tuskegee Airmen had offsprings, like their grandchildren. Instead of flying those P-51s or whatever those planes were, they're flying like Veritex almost.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
Really cool comic. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. And we have Chris Robinson. Now, Chris Robinson is an Eisner winner, and he edited, I believe, the reprint of the All Negro Comics anthology, which is like the very first Black comic book that was printed.
Really?
All Negro Comics. I think Image reprinted it, and he was a part of that curation.
Oh shoot, I did hear about this. Yes, Image should redo it. Yeah, in August. Yeah, Chris Robinson.
Yep. And he also wrote Marvel Voices.
Oh yes, yeah.
Okay, so that's Chris Robinson, and then we have Antoinette Van Slootman. She is she's a new manga artist, a girl who she's a San Diego local artist that I guess have you heard of Viz Media?
Oh yeah. Yeah, the anime.
So Viz Media, I believe they have some type of program going for new manga artists or writers, creators, or something like that. And she got chosen.
Oh wow.
And so her first manga is coming out, and she's going to debut it at Black Comics Day.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then finally we have Joseph Woods. He is a Black comic book shop owner in LA, like South Central LA.
Oh wow.
And
that's so cool.
He's become quite kind of a phenom in that community. And he's very connected to the community, does a lot of charity work, and he allows a lot of artists like myself to have a chance to have our books in the stores. Even though I'm kind of seasoned, I've had my books in comic shops before, but he's becoming like a community legend.
Yeah.
But I selected these guys because it's a cross section of the comic writer, the comic artist, and the comic store. And so
all levels, yeah.
I wanted to get their opinion on how the industry's going, like what is the vibe right now? What is your opinions on how this matrix is working?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be a fun panel, and it's moderated by my good friend Aaron Navas, who's a Filipino dude who actually, like I told you, San Diego has this big comic book community, right? So Aaron actually runs a similar show for Filipinos here. A comic
cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's lovely, man. That's such a cool event.
Yeah, so we all know each other, and we all hang out and drink beer together and discuss the stuff we just got finished discussing. We get into our little, like, what did you think Anakin really meant when he said no, Star Wars.
The battle rages on.
Yeah, we're all the same, bro.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. That's so cool.
We all have our personal perspectives on this, all the stuff that we love. So
but that's what makes it, like, that's what, if you're passionate about something, you want to know all of it, right? And even the parts you don't know, you want to put a reason to. So It's nice to be able to argue those. Like, I love talking to people about movies and being like, what do you think they meant by that? Or books, like, what do you think that meant? And even movies I don't like. Like, I have a friend that, like, we agree on almost everything when it comes to movies, books, but every once in a while we'll see something, he'll be like, I like that. And be like, I fucking hated that. And then it's like, why? Like, why? And then you kind of get into that.
Like it?
Yeah. And then it's like, and sometimes
what is it? Episode 8 is deep. The Rise of Skywalker or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah. The Last Jedi.
You want to start a fight.
Yeah. You know what? That's one of the fight issues I have with another friend because I actually didn't mind The Last Jedi that
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but I didn't
But
hate
you know
it.
what it does? It always every time I get into those debates, I always end up going home. I gotta watch it now. I gotta see
Yeah,
what did they see that I missed.
yeah. I usually ask people what their favorite movie is, and if I haven't seen it, I'll go watch it because sometimes if it means that much to somebody to say this is
Yeah,
my favorite movie, it must have something. And
yeah,
I've
it's
seen
resonating with somebody.
quite a few good movies that way, quite a few really bad movies to me that way. And I've
Yeah,
been like, I've been like, oh, well, obviously this person hasn't watched this movie since they were a kid and it's just their
right,
default to say,
yeah,
or they, just love it for whatever reason. Everybody art hits everyone different. Sometimes it's,
yeah.
where you
And there
come
are some
from.
movies that are my guilty. I don't care what anyone says. I enjoy them. I'm gonna watch them over and over. I don't care if you guys think they're stupid.
Oh
I
yeah. I've gotten to a point in my life when I realized how juvenile it is to make someone feel bad about liking something. I just say it's not for me now. I'm not going like, why do you like that? Like, why would you like that thing? I just
yeah.
say, no, I'm sorry.
Like you're gonna catch me at any if Fast and Furious comes out, I'm watching it.
Look, I'll agree the first one was a decent movie. And that's about it. And the third one actually wasn't a bad movie either, but that's about as far
Like
as I
yeah,
get.
and yeah, it's like I know he can't survive that fall. I know, guys. That's why it's
I,
stupid. The silliness of it is why I'm here.
the one where I think it was like six or whatever, when they jump between the two towers in Abu
Yeah,
Dhabi, I was like, oh
it's
my God.
ridiculous. Like it's super
Like
levels of ridiculous,
the
man.
amount of weight a
You
car
think I'm
has, it'd just
taking
be
this
like
serious?
room. But
I'm
hey,
looking at you like, why are you taking this serious?
yeah. It's an action movie. What do you expect? Yeah, if you're
Yeah,
going into
man.
it saying, and
Yeah,
Paul Walker's dead in real life, what are we gonna do? He's
yeah,
here
yeah.
now. It doesn't, this is what we get. So,
Armageddon's another one I love. I don't know how many people watch Armageddon.
one of my favorite things about that is I think it's the audio commentary that has Ben Affleck on it. Is like it was Criterion, oddly enough, put out Armageddon way back when, and Ben Affleck is on it. I don't know if it's just him doing an audio commentary, but he has a line in it which always makes me laugh, where they're watching the movie and he hears his voice going over it, and
Uh,
he goes and he says at this point in the movie, I asked Michael Bay why it made more sense for NASA to train oil drillers to be astronauts instead of just teaching astronauts how to drill a hole and then put dynamite in it. And he told me to shut the fuck up.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I just it was so funny. Like you could tell Affleck did not like have any reference for the project like everyone else did, but it's so
Right.
funny.
Nah, it's just it's I don't know. Some movies sometimes you really do just want to turn your brain off, bro.
Yeah.
Like just all right, just take me somewhere. I don't want to think about my problems right now. Like I
Yep.
don't want to watch anything deep. I don't want to watch anything philosophical. Just give me some
My go-to for those are usually like 80s, 70s, 80s horror
80s.
movies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that.
usually like just straight up some guy in the woods with a weird costume and a knife slashing
Yeah,
up teenagers. That's all I need.
yeah, yeah. And I don't expect an Oscar. I know it's not Oscar worthy.
It does, yeah, yeah. It would almost ruin it if it was. You'd be like, oh
Right.
no,
Yeah.
I want
Hey,
this to be
dude,
shitty.
before you go,
Yeah,
you have Netflix?
I do.
Do you know why they do you know why they put all the giant James Bond movies on there? Did you know that? They just
There,
released all the James Bond movies on Netflix.
really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I've been watching them for the last 3 nights.
You going from the start?
Yeah, and I'm like, I've come to the consensus. I think Doctor No is the best one.
Ah, of all of them, like even the Daniel Craig ones?
They're not as deep as they're not as well made as the Daniel Craig ones, but as like balance, like as the art, I'll put it this way. Because I had never watched it Doctor
Yeah.
No in its entirety, right? It
Oh
came
yeah.
out before I was even born.
Yep.
So I'm watching it and I'm like, oh shit. This is where all these memes and all of these were this is where what's the comedian? Dana Carvey.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, Michael Myers, the
Mike
Austin
Mark, like
Powers, yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's where he got all this stuff from.
Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of that
So
is
it's
more
the
from the
blueprint. It's
yeah.
the blueprint to even Spectre. Like
Yep.
how many organizations have we seen like that in
Oh
Spy?
yeah. I mean, like Get Smart and all that was very much from
Yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
and
And
Spectre Gadget from that.
yeah,
Um,
so
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah, I just had
100%.
an epiphany just watching it. And I was like, oh, this is
I
where they get all
I'm
this
trying to
stuff.
remember what of the old ones. I guess every version, like I really think Casino Royale is probably the best one. I think as far as
Mhm.
like a succinct Bond movie that goes all the way through. For the old ones, I really like From Russia with Love. That's the one with the guy from
With
Jaws. Had the girl with the old lady with the dagger in her foot in her shoe, and Robert Shaw was the big silent sort of Russian guy.
that's the second one, right?
Was it?
And he was the lady when he was fighting her and
She
he
had the
had her
shoe.
against the wall.
Yeah,
Like he
yeah,
was
the
trying to,
train.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's that's oh man, the dude, the Goldfinger.
Oh,
The new
that was good too. Yeah, that
that
was
wasn't Goldfinger.
no, that was Goldfinger. That movie's called Goldfinger.
Yeah, that's the
I'm
the
from
lady,
Russia.
right?
No, that was Odd Job with the hat. Was a Goldfinger.
Oh,
Uh,
that's Russian with from Russian with
Russia
love.
with Love. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
yeah. They had Robert Shaw from Jaws. He was the Quint. He's like the big silent Russian guy
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
blonde hair. That one. The if you have you got to the have you got to the kind of when they get funny with oh what's his name? Jesus, my brain's not working tonight.
Oh, Mr. Bean.
No, no, that one sucked. That's Never Say Never.
Yeah, I didn't
But
like
when
that.
Roger Moore became Bond, and when it was after, so they had like Connery, Lazenby, and Connery
I just
again.
watched the one Roger Moore with the one where he was skiing
Oh yeah, that was the first one, wasn't it?
for your eyes only.
Yeah, he. I like the Man with the Golden Gun a lot. The one with Christopher Lee plays the bad guy in that one. It's he's like a hitman that has he'll send you a golden bullet with your name on it, and that he like never misses. And they go to this island and they have to have a duel to fight to the death. Like Christopher Lee played Saruman in like Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Yeah, he's an old
So
yeah he's Dracula in the Hammer horror
is
movies.
Roger
And
Moore your favorite Bond?
no, I think it's probably Daniel Craig. Although
Right.
I do like I did like Pierce Brosnan, but those movies are pretty silly. I mean, I had a lot of reverence for Goldeneye as a kid, but just because I
But
played
okay, Craig, he had the most serious stuff, like the
that's kind
heavy.
of what I like though. He should
They
be
took it
serious.
serious.
Yeah.
I
They get
think,
pretty goofy. Wait
yeah,
till you get to the Roger Moore one that's like all about like voodoo and Baron Samedi and all that stuff in like Louisiana.
uh,
That is a fucking I think that's a Live and Let Die.
Roger Moore's the one I grew up on. He used to be my favorite, right?
Yeah.
It's my maternal favorite, but now that like I said, I've been looking at it for the last 3 days. I'm like, I don't really like those anymore.
They're
Like
pretty
I
goofy.
think the Sean Connery ones are better than his,
Yeah.
but the Daniel Craig stuff is heavier material. Like it's more structured and more realistic.
Which is probably what I liked about it, I guess. Like Skyfall is a really good one too. Um, I mean, it seems like every other one is good. Like, I didn't really care for Spectre, and I didn't really care for Quantum of Solace. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
liked
was
it.
hit and miss with James Bond movies. Like not
Yeah,
a lot of them were like, eh.
especially like yeah, the two Timothy Dalton ones are like Moonraker, and those ones are getting it kind of wild. The one where Roger Moore is like dressed as a clown. That Live and Let. I was on a podcast a while ago, and they watched Live and Let Die, and I watched it again, and all the like the sort of Haitian voodoo culture and all that
Mhm.
sort of this is a very weird movie.
Yeah,
And they got the guy running across the crocodiles and all. Oh man,
and
it's pretty.
you could tell like in For Your Eyes Only, it
Oh yeah.
was it was so 80s coded. Like they were, you could tell. Oh, okay, they're trying to be hip. And
Hmm.
for 80s, they had their aerobics in there. They had they had Centipede. They had a scene where it had a room full of video games.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It was just like, all right, I get it.
yeah.
It's just real. It was corny.
Well, even like yeah, Moonraker's like at Jaws running around, and then the second time
Right.
he's kind of the good guy.
Mhm.
Yeah, like you can't. I guess as far as like a franchise goes, it's gone so far and done so much. It's kind of like I'll be curious to see because the next one is going to be directed by Denis Villeneuve, who did. He's from Quebec. He's a French director from Canada. Here,
Really? Did they find a Bond yet?
no, they haven't said it yet, but this the guy like he does such like he did Sicario, the first one. He
Oh,
did
okay.
Dune, the new Dune movies, one and two. He did the Blade Runner 2049. Like he does a lot of kind of
Those are
heady
good.
arty kind of movies.
Yeah, those.
So I'll be curious to see Arrival, the one with Amy Adams with the aliens. Yeah, so like I'll be curious to see what he's going to do with the James Bond movie. It'd be very interesting. But
I just hope he does. I hope because those are pretty stark movies. Like
yeah,
the
Sicario is a very stark movie. The first
yeah.
one,
So I
he
just
didn't do the
hope.
second one.
Yeah, I think you can't. You can do what you want, but you can't. I don't want James Bond to be Born Identity. Like,
Yeah,
don't take his charisma away.
yeah,
You understand what I mean?
yeah, I do. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I do think he should be able to. There's two sides to him, and that's kind of why I like Craig because he is sort of like you could see him be a little sly, but also like somebody once said James Bond should be the guy that you could take to a cocktail party, but then you'd see him like knife a guy in the ribs in an alley to death the next minute and believe the
Yeah.
same guy could do both things. And you're like, and
Yeah.
that's kind of what I sort of felt Craig felt that way, although Craig was a little more knifing you in the alley.
You gotta have
So
the. I don't know how you feel, but don't you think he has to have those one-liners too?
yeah,
Like
you know.
that's part of the fun. Like you can't, like when Arnold Schwarzenegger says stop, you got to stick around.
My wife and I watched The Running Man, the original one with him in it the other day because I'd never seen it before. And man, he has so many of them. Anytime he kills someone, he's got a
Yeah.
one-liner. Like
Yeah.
the freeze guy kills the hockey player. He says something like, chill out or something like that.
Yeah.
Or so, and then he like there's a fire guy he says something about when he burns. He like because he lights him on fire. He says something about him, and it's so
But he
wild.
didn't. But looking at those old Bond movies, Bond was already doing that stuff. Like
Yeah.
he was doing that
I
stuff.
guess I guess it's on the delivery. Connery had a way to do it that felt, I don't know. I bought it, I
At least
guess.
in the '60s vein. I mean, in today's standard, it doesn't really pop like that.
No.
But back then, I'm sure it did.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well, and
mean?
also like back then we didn't have the movies before it to compare them to, or make it a tired cliche because it wasn't a cliche yet because no one had done it before.
Right.
So
Right. I just want them to make sure like don't take the fun, like don't like I said, don't make it Born Identity where it's all drama, all heavy,
yeah,
everything is super tense. Or even do you like the Mission Impossible movies with Tom Cruise?
yeah, yeah. They're fun though too. They have some
Yeah.
fun.
There needs to be some type of separation from those movies. Like what makes Bond different from a
Ethan Hunt.
Ethan Hunt and Bourne,
Yeah.
Jason Bourne. Like, what makes him different from those guys? Because
Well, and
he's like the original alpha spy, right?
it's also funny because like those references you gave all came from Bond. So like
Yeah,
they're an answer to Bond or a building on of that concept in their own fun way. But then they sort of influence, it's like a snake eating its own tail. They sort of influence Bond again when Bond comes back, and then Bond, you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's sort of like, the tail wagging the dog, as they say. But yeah, I'll be curious. Like Villeneuve's movies are very serious, so I don't imagine there'd be a ton of crazy fun. Well, though he has like a black humor streak to him sometimes.
Yeah.
But like the first movie I ever saw he did was about this. There's this famous shooting in Quebec. It was a nurse's school in the 70s, and 70s or 80s, and this guy went in and shot a bunch of women, some crazy guy. And it's like it's a super depressing, dark movie about a real sad story. And
Or they made a movie
yeah,
about
it's called Polytechnic. Yeah, that was the name of the place where it happened. But
okay.
when I first saw his movie, he did this weird. It was a short film. It was at a film festival, and it resonated with me and it stuck with me, and I still think about it. And I hadn't watched it. I think it's available online for free to watch now. But like I used to go to the film fest in Halifax, which is the major city in Nova Scotia, and you go there and they would show a horror short and then the horror movie every night at midnight they had during this film fest. And there's this one called Next Floor, and it was all these like rich, almost like Barry Lyndon style, foppish, aristocratic English people kind of costumes with the powdered wigs and the dots and Marie Antoinette kind of stuff. And they're all sitting around this giant table and they're eating. And there's all these staff and they keep bringing them food. And they eat and they eat and then like the floor starts to creak and it gives way and then it falls to the next floor and lands and they're all covered in dust, and the from fall through the floor and then the the head butler guy goes to the intercom next floor, and then all of the staff run, grab all the food, bring everything down the stairs to the next floor, and bring them all back the food. And then they keep eating and eating, and eventually it gives way again, and it continues on a little bit. But then you see the food they're eating. It's all like fetuses of rhinoceros, like they're eating rhinoceros and fetuses of other animals, like giraffes and it's this sort of commentary on how as humans we just sort of consume. And there's no end in sight. We just keep smashing our way down to the next level and just keep going. And it was so good, like as a short film, and that it still resonated with me, stuck with me. So, and then years later, when I was like, I wonder who made that movie, and I went back and looked at it, and I was like, oh, that guy, like that made all these massive movies now. So I'm curious to see what he does with it. I think it will. I don't think it'll stray too far from what Daniel Craig's Bond stuff was, but I hope that
sure to be good. I mean, he's got the chops for sure.
I think they'd pick someone. I don't know who they're going to pick to be Bond. I know Jacob Elordi was someone that they talked about, but he's also like 6'7", like he's a tall guy. So he's the guy from the new Frankenstein movie that played Frankenstein. He's on Euphoria.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy?
Yeah, the big tall guy with the black. Yeah. I mean, he's almost too pretty. Like, like young too. Yeah. He'd be in his 20s, I think, still. So
I'm not a fan of young seasoned guy. Like, I think age is a component that's important to think about when it comes to like seasoned vets, and they know the way around women and they know their way around general understanding of humans and how they think. And
I know Henry Cavill was mentioned, and also Aaron Taylor Johnson.
He's not him. No.
Yeah. Anybody that's kind of like middle-aged, handsome, and English seems to be in the mix.
For instance, I can't believe they cast, and I still don't like it. I was a big fan of the Uncharted video game.
Oh right, yeah.
And they casted
Tom.
Name is.
Yeah.
I was like, what? He looks 12.
I know that they tried to market it like being because I played all those games too. That was like a COVID thing. I played all of them through because I never played them before. And like they have Mark Wahlberg as Sully, like it just I don't know. It's like they tried to market it as like this is the first story when he's still young, but I'm like,
no, man.
I mean, it should have been Nathan Fillion forever, and then he's probably too old now, so I don't know.
Do you remember they were going to make what's his name, Indiana Jones?
Chris Pratt?
No, the Transformers.
Oh yeah, right, yeah. And then when they did the last movie, they Shia LaBeouf, and then when they did the last movie, they're just like, oh yeah, he died in Vietnam. like that writes him out of there.
Yeah, it's all this. I don't know. Anyway,
yes. No. Dude, like this is part of the fun of the show is that like I can talk to people about their art and stuff, but I also just get to nerd out with people, which is a joy. So, well, thanks again, man. This is a real blast. And
you too, man.
If you ever in Nova Scotia, drop me a line.
Okay. I've never have not set foot in Canada yet.
Oh, really? Well, it's a lot of Canada to see. So get up here.
Yeah, I met my family went, and I think they went when I was at Cal Arts, and I'll get there eventually.
Still time. It's a bit cold right now. I'd stay in San Diego.
Mr. Dr. Evil doesn't close the border.
Yeah, God, let's hope not. Who knows, man? But
can't put anything past him.
That's right. Just keep making art. That's all we can do.
Yep.
Well, okay, brother. Keithan, have a good night.
Hey, take care of it.
Bye-bye. There you have it, my chat with Keithan Jones. A great chat with a really cool comic creator. Please go check out his work. It's well worth your time. Some beautiful art. And yeah, I mean, after listening to that, come on. You got to want to read the books, see the art, read the words, learn about the characters. But yeah, he's doing some really, really cool stuff, and I'm glad I got a chance to chat with him. He was a really fun conversation, especially when we get into some fun James Bond talk in that crazy world of Bondness. So, do you have someone you think would be a good James Bond? Shoot it out to us. Send us a message. Drop it on a comment on the socials. Let us know, who is your perfect James Bond? All right, tune in next week for another fun-filled episode. Action-packed, I dare say. But in the meantime, stay safe, have fun, read some comics, and, read some more comics. Double up your comics. I'm doubling up your prescription of comic reading. Enjoy. This program is a proud part of the Swear to Pod Network.